Welcome everybody to a look at a new Criterion 4K release, and it is 1950s Winchester 73. So this is directed by Anthony Mann, who I've seen 8 other films from before. Favourites being the likes of The Man from Laramie, He Walked by Night, T-Men and The Naked Spur. And this is a Western film noir clocking in at 92 minutes long. Stars the likes of James Stewart, who I've seen in 18 other films. He worked with Anthony Mann 7 other times as well, so there is some crossover between the two. But favourites from him being the likes of Anatomy of a Murder, Vertigo, Rear Window, Rope, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and The Man Who Knew Too Much. Also saw Shelley Winters, who I've seen in 16 other films. Favourites from her being the likes of The Night of the Hunter and The Poseidon Adventure. Also stars Dan Daria, who I've seen in 13 other films. Favourites from him being like Scarlet Street and Crisscross. We've also got Stephen McNally and Millard Mitchell in supporting roles, who I've seen in a few films apiece. While you've got the likes of Rock Hudson and Tony Curtis in minor roles, very early into their career. I think it was only maybe the second or third credited role from Tony Curtis, and I think Rock Hudson has only been credited once, maybe before this one. So yeah, very early roles from the two of them. And yeah, nice to see them both turn up. So Lynn McAdam rides into town on the trail of Dutch Henry Brown, only to find himself in a shooting competition against him. McAdam wins the prize, a 1 in 1,000 Winchester rifle, but Dutch steals it and leaves town. McAdam follows, intent on settling his old quarrel, while the rifle keeps changing hands and touching a number of lives. So, although this doesn't come across as quite the classic that I was anticipating, given those involved in front of and behind the camera, while also having obviously a 4K release by Criterion, um, it is nonetheless still a highly engaging effort, primarily thanks to the cast. You know, such a ensemble cast like that is hard to ignore or enjoy, or not enjoy even. But also because of how the plot unfolds as it moves effortlessly between these various characters that are connected in some way to the titular Winchester repeater rifle. The cinematography is also excellent, the pacing is on point, the character interactions are well written, the period production is convincing, there is some solid tension, the action is decent, the score is well done, and it doesn't get confusing at all with all these different narrative strands between all of these different characters. So yeah, overall a really rather good effort. Not the classic like I said I was expecting, but it's still a solid 4 out of 5, and yeah, definitely matches other Anthony Mann films like T-Men and The Naked Spur in terms of ratings. But He Walked by Night and The Man from Laramie certainly are a little bit better than this for my money. But still, overall, an excellent release from Criterion. We get the 2 discs from this. We get the 4K and we get the Blu-ray. We also get this, I think it's new artwork. Uh, doesn't say by who though. Usually says by who. But still, it's got a new 4K digital restoration undertaken by Universal Pictures in collaboration with the Film Foundation, with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. And we also get a little booklet leaflet thing. As per usual with these Criterion films, they fold out. Such. So yeah. So in this we have Under the Gun by Imogen Sarah Smith, and then on the reverse we have About the Master, as well as cast and credits, and a bunch of shots from the film on top of all of that, which is all nicely handled, to be honest. So yeah, it's presented in the aspect ratio 135:1. So this new 4K restoration was created from the 35mm nitrate original camera negative, and the original monaural soundtrack was remastered from the 35mm nitrate optical soundtrack negative. So yeah, that's pretty good. And the disc mastering was done by Next Spec, and the restoration was done by NBC Universal Studio Post. And on the discs itself, we've got one 4K UHD disc and one Blu-ray with the film and the special features. So no special features on the 4K. So we have audio commentary featuring actor James Stewart and film historian Paul Schmidt. We've got a new interview with film programmer Adam Peron on the portrayal of Native Americans in the Western genre. Then we've got Forces of Nature, Anthony Mann at Universal, a programme on a key chapter in the director's career. Then we've got Lux Radio Theatre adaptation of the film from 1951, as well as trailer, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and the essay that is on paper in that little booklet as well. So yeah, really, really good effort. Like I said, not my favourite from Anthony Mann or James Stewart, especially in terms of westerns, but still a really, really solid film. And yeah, I think if it went in a slightly more interesting direction in terms of its use of characters and their link between this gun, for instance, maybe make it like a kind of a film from the point of the view of the gun itself, and it sees these characters and their actions and their lives and deaths and such from the point of view of the gun, would have been a little bit more interesting. I did think it was going to break out into that kind of mold when it started moving from the shooting competition out into the Wild West, but it didn't. But I still enjoyed where the direction it went in, regardless. And yeah, at the end of the day, I can only judge the film on what it's actually doing rather than what I would like it to do. So yeah, and what it did was really good. Solid 4 out of 5, like I said. So yeah, highly recommend it if you've not seen it before, especially if you're into your Western films, and in particular if you're into your James Stewart films, as I am. As I said, I've seen 18 of his other films. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what the 20th film from him will be that that I'll eventually see. But still, if you haven't seen it, then I do recommend it, like I said. But if you have, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.